and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Good morning. It is Friday. Be ready. Your world will be rocked and rolled today as thunderstorms are getting ready to roll in. Now, the severe weather will reach the East Mississippi side somewhere around noon today. Now, this will be a long evening as it will stretch until roughly 3 a.m. before it's out of the area. We'll watch the weather carefully. We'll go live when there's a threat to the area that you need to know about. We'll be standing by watching this very closely throughout the day. Now, we do have some rain showers starting to move in. Let's look at this before we get into headlines and things that are going on. Here's our radar this morning as we go to Honda Meridian Radar. We have showers in Neshoba County that are picking up in intensity. Look at that. As we pull this up, let's look at some locations that it's close to. Right at the hospital there, as you're getting into Philadelphia from Tucker on, you're going to be in the rain. As you out by the Neshoba County Fairgrounds, a few showers, and then 15 coming into Philadelphia also. You'll get into a few there. It's on its way there where 21 and 15 meet right there. That's a pretty heavy shower there. We also see out at Bogachita. We see at the Indian Mounds right there at the county line at Winston County, a lot of rain there. And even in Winston County, as we get up into this areas here, J&S Food, look at that rain there as well on Highway 25 in these areas. Kazi, Esco covered in this stuff. So be careful. This is the first round of what we're going to get today. There's going to be a few showers there that we'll watch. Now, we'll break it down here in just a little bit when we get into our forecast of tornadic activity. It's out there, and it's a strong possibility of that. And as usual, they start bringing up that I-20 corridor. We'll look at all of that in just a moment. Right now, let's go to Collinsville. Let's get a good word for the day and see what Brother Ben has to say.
Somebody once wisely said, you can't run with the devil while walking with Jesus. Now, that's absolutely true. The Holy Spirit, through Apostle John, says it this way in 1 John chapter 1. If we say we have fellowship with God while we walk in darkness, we lie and do not practice the truth. Beloved, in life, you cannot have your cake and eat it too. You got to make a choice. I'm either going to eat my cake or save it for later. You can't do both. A choice has to be made. Now, the same is true spiritually. You cannot walk in the light while walking in darkness. I can't walk with Jesus while running with the devil. A choice, again, it has to be made. And if I say I'm walking with Jesus while I'm running with the devil, I'm straight up lying. And that's true for you as well. So which will it be? Jesus or the devil? Light or darkness? The choice is yours, and I pray you make the right one. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. And welcome back. Hope Brother Ben brought you a message that you needed today. Don't forget, they're going to be there Sunday morning, bright and early. If you need a church to go to, drop in and see them. They'd love to have you as a visitor and, well, maybe make you a member there. Don't forget, this weekend is it. It's here. It's arrived. Time changes. Spring forward as we'll move those clocks ahead and start having daylight again. I don't know, is it just me, but when it gets dark so early, it just makes you sleepy, not want to do anything? It's like the day doesn't exist. You get off, you go to work, you go home, and it's over. And this will allow a little bit more time outside to do a few things. Baseball and, well, summertime right around the corner. The spring is welcomed. And we do hope one day, and I don't have the answer for it, that it will eventually go to where we no longer have this time change, to where it's one time all year long. We do hope that that eventually happens. So we'll be watching eventually, maybe. Amidst, I guess is the word that I'm looking for this morning, of things that are closing, we see one that is going to be gaining over the next year. Aldi, we've got one here in Meridian. They plan to add another 800 stores over the next year. Congratulations to them. One of very few people that are saying they're going to do that.
And they bought Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, they did buy Winn-Dixie, and that's probably part of that number of 800 that they've thrown out there. And I don't know how many stores Winn-Dixie had left, but hard to believe that the beef people are no longer. Man, I remember that as a kid. It was always there. A judge has denied Donald Trump, I'm sure you've heard this by now, his request for more time to dispute those damages that were given to Carol in that defamation case. What was $85 million? It doesn't even seem right, but they're demanding that he go ahead and pay her. Something's wrong. They're going to start charging. We know how this goes. Do you remember George Santos, the guy that was the Republican guy from New York that they threw out of office? He's getting ready to run again. If you remember, he was taken down, special election held, and a Democrat won the seat. He's going to be running against the guy that helped throw him out. Be ready for that one. Next week, a judge will hear the classified documents case. Will it be thrown out against Trump? It's going before a judge, and we will see what becomes of that. Sometimes they're in his favor, sometimes they're not. This is horrible to think. I know a lot of you have been on cruises before, but say you're on a cruise and you're on the deck looking out, and you see some people floating around out there. Yeah, you notify the captain. Well, they set anchor and helped a group that had been floating around for 8 days at sea. They were rescued by the crew. I know they felt better about that. I bet that was like, what do you call it when you've been out in the desert? A mirage. Yeah. You see the ship, you think, this really can't be real. They were saved. Here's another bad one. Royal Caribbean. A guy that worked for them. Y'all familiar with that one? Hid a camera in the bathrooms on a cruise ship. It will be extra charges because, well, there were some of these that were underage. It's not going to work out well for that person. Anybody remember the name Steve Lawrence? He was a singer. Now, done some, wasn't it Lawrence Welk type stuff? If I remember right, he might have danced across the stage on there. He's passed away at the age of 88, as we remember him. We also lost another American Idol star. She was one of the ones that choreographed and helped put the music together behind the scene. Coach is what I'm trying to say. Deborah Bird, she was 72. She has also passed away as we look at things that have happened. This is, it's bad that people would want to steal from the poorest of poor, the EBT cards. They're looking at having to change the way these are made and put microchips in them to safeguard them because they are being duplicated and people's money being stolen off their card. Crooks will take from anybody, the rich, the poor, the needy. They don't care. They're selfish. Isn't that a shame? But we do live in a world that does exist. Breaks my heart to even have to tell you those things. Not shockingly over this, as we look at polls, as we get near the end of the year of when we will vote for president, we will vote Tuesday, don't forget, here in the state of Mississippi for the candidates. The LGBT side, 70% in favor of Biden. It's not shockingly. We'll be right back as we'll get into your forecast as we get this day underway. The selection is always changing at Massey Supermart Auto Sales with low-mileage cars and trucks. How about a 2022 Jeep Wrangler or a 2021 Honda Ridgeline Sport with only 40,000 miles? A GMC Denali or a 2024 Silverado 2500? Drop in today and find the car that you're looking for. They're packed with low-mileage cars and trucks.
The low-profit dealer, Massey Supermart.
At the Back Porch, we're bringing families back together for fun, food, and all the things you love to enjoy around your home. Every event starts with a great grill, great cookware, and accessories. Add in some locally sourced meat and dairy, along with frozen vegetables and casseroles, and over 500 brands of spices and sauces. Relax in our chairs, swings, daybeds, and have fun with our cornhole boards. From coolers to trailers, we have everything you need. When you see the big chair, you've made it to the Back Porch.
From the sound of the comments, I don't think a lot of people stayed with the State of the Union to the end. I didn't. Greg didn't watch it all. I didn't either. I decided to get is it the Cliff Notes?
Yeah.
He did bungle a little bit. Odie, how much did you watch?
I watched about 30 minutes of it.
Odie held in there for 30 minutes. He's one of the tough to brave, the American men and women. We'll talk about that this morning. That's all up and coming. What's going to happen with the weather today? Let me show you the map of what we've got that is considered a level 2 severe weather. Now, this is by all means a chance of tornadic activity. After we look at this, then we'll look at where it's prone to have the most tornadoes. As we pull up radar this morning, this yellow area, that is a level 2. Above that is level 1. As we see this, it stretches from Tyler, Texas, all the way over to Columbus, Georgia, right there at the line there. As we dig into this, this will go up to West Point, Mississippi, just north of Starkville, go across to Grenada, into the Mississippi Delta at Cleveland, and go south all the way to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Right here along this line is everything that I'm reading, where some of the worst of the weather could be today as it comes across Mississippi, that I-20 corridor. Now, let's flip this screen and go into the severe and look where the tornadic activity could be. Oh, yeah, that's kind of mimicking it, of what we're looking at on that. Goes over to Montgomery, the chance of tornadoes, and back over to Ruston, Louisiana, right along in there. Now, again, we're getting mentioned that this area right in here, we could see tornadic activity. We'll watch this. Anywhere in this brown area is highly active today. We'll watch it closely. The timeline that we're being told from the National Weather Service at this point is high noon until 3 a.m. Now, that will be adjusted as this comes across and things begin to develop. Already this morning, let's go back and look at radar as we're looking at all of this stuff here of what we've got. Right now, as you'll see, Kosciuszko, Mississippi, getting the worst of what we got. Vicksburg moving across there. Canton, heavy showers this morning. This is the first leg of what is to come. Worse weather on the way for a little bit later on. We'll be here for you behind the scenes watching this all the way through. And if you keep hearing my phone ding, it's the radar sending me text letting me know that lightning or something is happening in each one of these areas. And that's in case I'm ever away from this. I'll know to run and get back. It's always good to have that. All right, let's get into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
All right, I pushed the wrong button there, didn't I? I did. As we go back to take a look at our record highs and record lows, it was 23 1 year ago, 86 today. Back in 66, it was 20. Now, as we look across the state of Mississippi, rain is expected today, and they've changed the forecast from when I first got here around 3:30. They've changed it from a high of 71 now to a low of a high of about 67. As we go northward, 66 in Columbus, back over to the Mississippi Delta, 66, hitting 70 at Vicksburg. As we go down, warming up even to 73 in Natchez. We got rain up to 3 inches today, somewhere between 2 to 3 inches. As we look at Bama, 65 in Demopolis, 67 Birmingham, even 69 in Auburn, Alabama. As we look at this is that same map that we just looked at a moment ago. This is from the National Weather Service. Hail, golf ball size, tornadoes possible, damaging wind gust of up to 60 miles an hour, and storms that are severe. How does that start your day? Last thing you wanted to hear, wasn't it? That's what we've got. And again, this is that level 2 area. And again, that timing there, as you'll see written here, noon until 3 a.m. in the morning. We do hope that's adjusted and we all get some sleep. As we look at the Bama side of things, all the way up to Tuscaloosa is under a level 2, over to Auburn, down to Troy, Alabama. Demopolis, you're included in this as well. Now, this is the flash flooding threat. As you'll see this, I mentioned a moment ago, 3 inches. The National Weather Service is taking it a step further and making this a level 2 for central Mississippi, which includes Philadelphia. It does include Scooba, DeKalb, Quitman, Meridian, Newton, Jasper, all of this area around Bay Springs, back over into Morton and Scott County under a level 2. For anywhere from 2 to 4 inches of rain is going to fall. Again, we will watch this area right along I-20 for tornadic activity today. We'll see what happens here. We had first started getting mention of this when I started watching the weather, that it would be a little bit further south than that. As that forecast changes, it's moved up to the I-20 area. At first they had it just down around Hattiesburg they thought would be the worst, but now sitting on that I-20 corridor. Again, it's Mother Nature. It could change again, but we'll be here to tell you about it as we do this together each and every time there's a storm. As we look at this, what's happening with those temperatures, there it is. Warm weather for the great state of Mississippi, Alabama, even portions of Louisiana into Georgia and Florida. Our 7-day outlook looks like this. 67 today, tonight. Look at the low on this. Only 62 by Sunday. Over the weekend, 37. Boy, is that drastic or what? It makes sick people, doesn't it? It sure does. What does that tell us? Stay in bed late. You stay in bed long enough, it'll warm up to the 60s. So that might be the way to get around this. 70 for a high on Saturday, but only a 10% chance of rain, 0% on Sunday. So the weekend bails out pretty good after the storm goes away. By Monday, we're sitting at 66, and temperatures start to warm back up. Look at this, 73, 76, and by next Thursday, we're back to 78 degrees, some 10 degrees warmer than it is right now. Now, let's go another week into this as we go all the way through March the 22nd. Boy, I'm really throwing our days away, aren't I? 2 weeks out sounds like the month is already gone. 73 by the 15th, and we'll settle into the 60s right around 70 for about 4 to 5 days there, and then moving back up to 74 when the rain moves in on Friday the 22nd. Nothing surprising here. There is no snow. It's not happening right now. Has it happened in April? It has. We'll wait and see. It's not likely, though. I mean, after all, Phil said it wasn't going to happen. He's right so far. What's happening with the fishing forecast? Chet's Paint and Body tells us, what do we do? Let's look at this. You head out to go fishing today somewhere around 10:40 till about 1 o'clock. Now, let's back that up and go, wait a minute, it's going to be raining then. You got to be tough. You got to have a raincoat. If it's lightning, don't go at all. Another major time will be after dark tonight, 11 o'clock if you're an overnight fisherman. A slight chance right at 6 o'clock this evening. But again, I'm going to put this as not the best day to go since it's, going to be stormy weather. Wait it out. The wind's going to be 5 to 15 sustained with gusts up to 30 miles an hour. During thunderstorms, it could push 40. I know as I walked across this morning, I had to walk like Jackie Gleason and hold my own hat. It was real windy, and I had to hold on to it. It's pretty rough there. You have to walk with your head down. That's what we've got shaping with the weather this morning, and we got a big show. I think the Junior Auxiliary is going to drop by this morning. Greg has already made it in. You left, home midnight? Headed here?
I spent the night halfway up.
Got you a motel room on the way over here. He swears that this is out in the sticks. Bless his heart. We'll talk to Greg. We got Odie. We got the gang here. We're going to be heading to Southeast today. Yeah, we're going to continue our Dr. Seuss reading, as we've been everywhere, man, as Johnny Gash would say. We'll tell you all about that coming up this morning at 7 a.m. Join us, won't you? We're just 10 minutes away from starting, I think, as I look at the clock. Yeah, 5 minutes, actually. So we'll be back very shortly. Coffee Zone, get yours ready, and a biscuit. You might need it with all of us this morning here from the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.